Does it ever feel like you and your wife are living two completely separate lives under the same roof? Have you ever looked back and realized that somewhere along the way, the two of you just stopped connecting? What if the habit that's slowly destroying your marriage happens in the first 5 minutes of every single morning? Well, here's the hard truth. Most husbands never see it coming. They work hard, they stay faithful, they keep the lights on, and they still end up being blindsided by their wife when she looks at him and says, "I want a divorce." And if that's where you are right now, I want you to know something. You're not alone. And this video might be the most important thing you'll watch all year. Hi, my name is David Frey, and I'm the founder of MarriageHabit.com and the creator of the High Value Husbands Men's Coaching Program, where I teach husbands how to own up, grow up, and show up so that they can reattract the love and respect of their wives and save their marriage. Now, if you'd like to learn more about that program, just go to highvaluehusbands.com. In this video, I'm going to show you one specific morning habit that research links to a 94% accuracy in predicting divorce. And once you find out what it is, you might think nothing of it. But to your wife, it's very important. So listen up. I'm going to explain exactly why it's pushing your wife further away. And by the end, you'll know precisely what to do instead, starting tomorrow morning. So tell me if this sounds familiar. Your alarm goes off in the morning, your eyes open, and before you even say good morning to your wife, before you even roll over to look at her, your hand is already reaching for your phone. And then you start the desk scroll. Maybe it's news, maybe it's social media, heck, maybe it's emails. But whatever it is, that screen is the first thing that gets your attention, not her. And she notices. She noticed for months, maybe years. She doesn't always have to say something, but she feels it inside. And every single morning, before she's even had a chance to say good morning, you've already told her, without a single word, where she ranks in your life. Again, you might not think this is a big thing, but to your wife, it's huge. And here's what makes it so painful. It's not just that you're checking your phone. It's that you're choosing a screen over a person, and a person who used to be your best friend, a person who's lying right next to you, wondering if you even see her anymore. Research on couples' morning behavior shows that husbands who consistently reach out for their phones before acknowledging their wives are signaling something much deeper than distraction. They're signaling emotional disconnection, and that emotional disconnection, measured over time, is one of the strongest predictors of divorce that researchers have found. It's accurate in identifying struggling marriages at a rate of 94%. That's not a small number. That's nearly every time. Now, here's what makes it even worse. It doesn't stop at morning scroll. Think about dinner time. Your wife is talking to you, telling you about her day, about the kids, about something that matters to her. And guess what? Your eyes drift down to your phone. You're just half listening to her. And she knows it. Every time it happens, a small piece of her pulls back. She stops sharing. She stops reaching out to you. She stops trying. Because she has learned, you have actually taught her, that she has to compete with the screen for your attention. And no wife should ever feel like she's losing that competition. Now, maybe you've thought, well, she's overreacting. It's just my phone. But here's what most men get wrong. It was never about the phone. It's about what the phone represents. When you reach for your screen before you reach for her, you're communicating to her loud and clear that the outside world matters more than she does. And when you scroll while she's talking, you're telling her that whatever's on that screen is more interesting and more important than her. Nobody tells you this, but the slow drip of dismal day after day, morning after morning, is what turns a loving wife into a woman who feels invisible. And invisible women eventually stop fighting to be seen. They just leave. So here's what to do instead. And it starts with one simple habit that high-value husbands build deliberately. Tomorrow morning, when your alarm goes off, leave your phone face down. Don't touch it. Before you look at a single notification, roll over and acknowledge your wife. Give her a hug, give her a kiss, even just a hand on her arm and a genuine "good morning, babe." That 5-second habit sends a message that no text notification ever could. It tells her, "You're the first thing I choose." Here's what most men get wrong about this step. They think that it needs to be big and romantic to matter. It doesn't. Your wife doesn't need a grand gesture. She needs consistency. She needs to feel like she's on your mind before the rest of the world gets in your mind. Okay, the second habit high-value husbands build is asking one simple question every morning. After you say good morning, look at your wife and ask her this: "What can I do today to make your day a little easier?" That's it. 6 words. It sounds simple, but for a woman who's been feeling invisible, man, those 6 words are water in a desert. You're not just asking about her schedule, you're telling her that her experience of life matters to you. You're stepping into the role of a partner, not just a provider. And here's the thing. She might not believe it at first. She might give you a short answer or a no answer because she's been disappointed before and her guard is up. That's okay. You keep asking, because high-value husbands don't do this once and quit. They build the habit. Okay? The third thing you need to address is what happens when she's actually talking to you. Put the phone down, not on the counter, not face down beside you, but put it out of reach. When your wife is speaking, she deserves your eyes, your body language, and your full attention. Desk scrolling through social media while your wife is telling you something important is not a neutral act. It's a rejection from her perspective. And your wife is keeping score, not out of pettiness, but out of self-preservation. Every time you put the phone down and look at her, you really look at her. You're making a deposit in an account that's probably been overdrawn for a long time. Those deposits add up. This has happened in my own marriage. I have had to make a commitment to myself that when my wife is talking to me, I will put my phone down out of reach and I will physically turn around and look at her while she's talking to me. All right, let me ask you a few questions of self-reflection. Ask yourself these questions. When was the last time your wife was the very first thing you gave your attention to in the morning? Before the news, before social media, before emails, and I'm not talking about a sexual advance. Number 2, how often do you find yourself scrolling through your phone while your wife is in the same room, trying to tell you something? If you were to observe your own morning habits this week as an outsider, what would you see? A husband who reaches for his wife or a husband who reaches for his screen? Take those questions seriously, because the answers tell you exactly where you are and exactly how much work there is to do. High-value husbands don't wait for the marriage to feel better before they start showing up differently. They show up differently so the marriage can feel better. So I want to give you a challenge for the next 24 to 48 hours. Tomorrow morning, before you touch your phone, reach over and give your wife a hug and a kiss. And then ask her the one question: what can I do today to lighten your load? Okay, do it tomorrow. And then do it the day after. Build it into who you are. That one habit won't fix everything overnight, but it's going to send a message to your wife that something has shifted. And sometimes That's all your wife needs to see to start believing in you again. All right, man. Thank you for caring enough about your marriage to watch this video. And thank you for being willing to look honestly at your own habits instead of just pointing your fingers at your wife's habits. If you put into action what you've learned here today, I guarantee that you're going to become more connected, more present, and more respected husband. Your wife doesn't need you to be perfect. She just needs you to be present. So start there. Remember, the quality of your habits determine the quality of your marriage. Have a great day.